Joining us to discuss today's outcome in the Tshwane Council and broader local governance matters is Dr. Tim Maake. He's a local government specialist. Good afternoon, Doctor. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So firstly, your reaction to the election of ActionSA's Dr. Nasiphi Moya.
Thank you, Mfundo, and to your viewers. I think firstly, let me congratulate Dr. Moya for an election as the executive mayor of the City of Tshwane. And I'm quite sure that she's quite aware of the task ahead. And as she has already indicated, she's ready to take the bull by its horns to serve the people of Tswhane.
I'm hoping we'll tackle some of what she has committed there, given the financial issues that continue to plague the specific metro. But before that, let's go to the ANC's decision, though, to back ActionSA's candidate. Were you not in the least bit surprised by this decision not to field their own candidate? Because just days leading up to the vote, the names of Dr. Tshwane Mayor, the former regional chair, and George Matila, the current regional secretary, were bandied about.
Well, we need to appreciate the fact that in politics, there's no therefore. And in politics, there are no permanent enemies and there are no permanent friends. Anything can happen at any given time. So one was not taken by surprise. The fact that she has emerged as the elected executive mayor of the City of Tshwane. I think one has been seeing the conversations that has been going on between ActionSA and the African National Congress. It was quite very clear that there's going to be a moment where in the African National Congress might prefer to take a back seat and allow ActionSA to take the lead. As you are aware that in the city of Joburg, the ANC has taken the front seat. So that is something that we should always anticipate whenever there are political changes in terms of relationships amongst the political parties in municipal councils where there's coalitions.
Then to the governance issues in Tswane, which have essentially manifested themselves in the delivery of services or inability to deliver. There's a long-standing financial issue. The city is currently insolvent with a liquidity ratio of only 0.6. Their debt with Eskom is ballooning, the list goes on. The question is, how much can be done to stabilize the metro with just under 2 years to go before the next local government elections? Because these were some of the commitments she's made to stabilize the metro.
I think for me, the most important thing comes from the statement that she has made to say that she's not going to be an executive mayor of ActionSA. She's going to be an executive mayor of the communities. Now, if she takes it along those lines, chances are that she might build a very good rapport with the communities. And why is that important? It's important because the communities are the consumers of the services within the city, and they are the ones who have to be paying for the services. But communities are not willing to pay for services when they are dissatisfied. Now, if she can take that as the first point of departure to appreciate the importance of the key stakeholders, and start working very closely with the key stakeholders so that the key stakeholders are inspired and motivated to be able to start paying for the little services that they get so that the financial situation in the city could improve. If that is not going to happen, it's still going to remain a big challenge within the City of Tshwane.
But are the key stakeholders now not just merely looking for service delivery? That, yes, it's good and well to build a rapport, we can all praise people for good intentions, but right now they want delivery because since 2016, you've had the Democratic Alliance at the helm, and there's been complaints specifically. She touched on the residents of Soshanguve and the likes. I mean, at this point, are they not tired of perhaps having a mayor that would open her arms, to be willing to communicate? Is it really communication that they want, or they just want service delivery at this point, which might be difficult if we're talking about an insolvent metro?
Firstly, I think you're quite right. It is not going to be about how much you can say about working with the community, but it is also going to be up to what extent they start seeing some tangible things happening within the communities. And then I can assure you, there are those kind of things that once you start doing them, even if they're not that too huge, the citizens will always appreciate the effort that government is taking. For an example, if we can start keeping our streets clean, if we can try and make sure that we maintain the current infrastructure that they have, so that it produces the goods that the people are waiting for, while they are waiting for bigger things to come, At least if that little things that are already on the ground, if the city can start working on those, surely it will bring some level of confidence to the communities. And they might also be willing to help the city by playing their part, by making sure that they pay for the little that they are quite receiving now. If that does not happen, certainly they are not going to come to the party because they are waiting, and they've been waiting for too long. And I think what is important for me is that she needs to start bringing that integration, which the law has always been saying that we want to make sure that there is integrated development, not separate development. So she should guard against paying attention to one area at the expense of the broader community members of the City of Tshwane, because that has been a limitation in the previous administration.
And at least she tackled that in just her address. But to this one, we keep talking about the professionalization of local government, starting with perhaps depoliticization of the administrative function at municipal level. However, we saw municipal workers more than happy to see the back of the mayor just after he was ousted. I'm sure you saw those videos that were circulating of them singing as he was walking out. Some read that to be workers entering into the space of politics, while others saw it as merely workers who had a difficult relationship with the mayor. They felt they were not being paid what was due to them. Did you read those celebrations by workers on the removal of Brink to mean that they are politicized?
Well, I think besides them being politicized, as you know, that within the local government sphere, like all other sectors, there are labor unions that will represent the workers. And the working relationship between any leader and the employees as another key stakeholder plays a very critical role. Now, that celebration was a clear demonstration of the fact that there's never been a very good working relationship between the employees and the employer represented by the executive mayor. And that is the reason why you saw the employees celebrating, because they felt that they may have not had a good working relationship with the executive mayor. We all remember what happened when they were on strike. There were a number of them who were fired, and all of those things. So those are some of the things that we can minimize if we develop a good working relationship where we are able to engage one another. I always say that one of the critical important aspects of leadership is that you should have the ability to influence, but also be willing to be influenced. That will then harmonize relations between yourself and those that you are leading.
One wonders, though, because we know that workers right now were looking for increases, but how do you balance that? Let's see how she'll be able to balance the reality, which is the fact that the municipality cannot necessarily meet all its obligations financially versus their expectations of salary increases. But, Doctor, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That was Dr. Tim Maake, local government specialist, speaking to us post the outcome of the Tshwane Council sitting today.